In the week leading up to the FA Cup game, it's a break from the league. It's always an exciting week, FA Cup. There's always a build-up. I've been fortunate enough to have had some great memories in my time at Millwall and Bromley in the FA Cup. Lucky enough to be in 2 semi-finals and a final. At Millwall is something that will forever live with me. To be part of a team that played Man United and went on the run and played in the Millennium Stadium in front of how many people is remarkable. When you're playing a team from a league below, again, Chatham were flying at the time. We thought we could win and progress. Brought Toby in at Moline. We were still playing a back three. I just wanted to have some balance. He was a left-footed player. I'd watched him at Crawley, watched him at Weston, and he was training with Bournemouth at the time. And I knew he'd just give us a bit of balance. I needed someone to be able to put their foot on the ball and find a pass. So I'd watched Toby. He'd come off the back of a bad injury, so there was risk involved in taking him. But we knew that at this club, these are the risks we have to take sometimes on players.
The biggest days of the non-league football calendar. Huge stakes, not just £9,000 in prize money, but the hope of a huge televised day out in the first round.
Yeah, I was aware of last year's sort of agony in the FA Cup, and made more so the pressure to try and want to progress in this cup competition. We all want to progress. It's great. It can be great financially for the club. The supporters and the punters, they all want to be in the hat. There was an added pressure on that. It was a game that we really wanted to sort of do well in, and we really felt we could get into the hat. And look, we started really well in the game, in that FA Cup game.
Crowd of the season so far here at the Yeoman's Community Stadium as Tonbridge go forward on the right-hand side. This is Brodie Peart. Good run from him. In it goes then towards Eddie Simon. Eddie Simon trying to create a chance. Wagstaff lays it off. Shot coming in. Oh, it's there! Tonbridge made a fantastic start with Marcus Sablia. Took a wicket.
At 1-0, we had a decision. It was a clear handball, and the referee was sort of 10 yards away. Marcus went to take a shot. This was to go 2 up. The ball was going in, and the lad had used his arm to cover his face. I looked at the ref, and I'm thinking, that's Stonewall penalty. Like, you can see it, he's 10 yards away. So disappointed not to get that decision, because I felt with 4 officials on the pitch, everyone saw it, and you can't use your hand to stop and block a shot. And it was so I was disappointed in that decision, and that would have made it 2-0. So again, it gave them a lift, didn't get it, and then we obviously went in at half-time, and then that's when we had the chat about next goal is going to be really important. Yeah. And we came out, and I think there was a little bit of complacency there. Sometimes in the cup games, you feel like we'll be all right, we'll be okay, and that you're at your most vulnerable. We were caught cold with an early goal. They grew in energy then. It gives them a lift, it gives them something to hold on to, and I think it just stunned us a little bit, because before that, I don't think there was much in the game from them. We were comfortable, and then we had to go for it. I think there was like probably 5-6 minutes left, so we went for it through everyone up top, just trying to get that equaliser, that FA Cup, that sort of grandstand finish to try and take it into extra time penalties. And we got sucker punched on the counter, and unfortunately it wasn't to be for us. Looking for players at this level, and when you're Tonbridge Angels, you're normally last pick for most teams. Made a lot of phone calls. I'm on the phone every day, and it's no. Tonbridge Angels, it's difficult. You're trying to find a needle in a haystack for players. One, your budget is difficult. A lot of clubs won't lend them their players full time. Some teams don't want players training on the 4G, the AstroTurf, the myth of that. So we had to really work hard with recruitment. Really had to dig deep. And then I got wind that Cole Smith was at Braintree, someone I'd known for a long time. I'd watched at Weston, almost signed in my time at Bromley. So yeah, I had a chat with Cole, and he had the sort of DNA, the pedigree, and what I was looking for in a wing back, a full back. And again, he wasn't playing at Braintree. Spoke to them, and obviously Larry knew him from Millwall, which was brilliant. And Carl's a lovely kid, and I never got him at Bromley, but I was really pleased to get him in the building, because he's a talented boy, real humble lad, and he's exceptional. I think he'll bring some pedigree into the team, is what I need. In the Horsham game, I thought there was a decision that went against us. Until this day, I cannot work out ball crossed the line from the linesman's give it. We've looked at the footage and the ball hasn't crossed the line. We asked the linesman, the officials, we sent them the footage, never had a response back. And look, you're never going to get decisions always go against you. And I know referees and officials is difficult and they're going to make mistakes, but for the linesman to see the ball cross the line and say he did, and then for the footage to show it didn't, it was a real tough one to take for us. We felt hard done by. And look, you hope over a course of season you get it evens itself out. So we had to move on, but that one was a real tough one to take because we was on top at the time, and your away team get the goal. First goal in this league is really important, and for that goal to be given was a tough one to take for us. I remember my time at Bromley going to Maidenhead, and it was always a windy night, downhill pitch, real tough place to go. One of the hardest places for us at Bromley when we went there. Never really used to get much results from it. Pitch is a bit sloped, the changing rooms are really tight, and they're always a physical, knowing Devonshire's teams, they're always a physical, big, strong team, powerful, experienced players. So I was going into the game looking at my young team who are still developing, going up against a team of men on a Tuesday night away to Maidenhead. I thought it'd be struggle. I thought we'd struggle. I thought we'd get bullied, and I thought that would be a tough night for us as a football club. And then come out second half, and we all stood up like men. And it was, like I said, it was a first time I'd seen the boys sort of dig that deep and find another gear against a team of men that sort of surprised me a little bit, if you like, because they could have cracked, they could have folded. We stood up to it. And I see at that point, I see a lot of resilience in the boys. I see a lot of like them growing up as men. Naz got his goal, set piece, and we grew in confidence from that. And their goal was a worldie, to be fair. It was a shot from 30 yards. So the players they had on the pitch, an experienced side, I thought we come off that pitch and it was a progressive moment for us that we were progressing as a football club. I felt we were getting fitter. 60, 70 minutes, we could still add it enough in the engine to go and win that game. 75, 80 minutes, we were still countering down them. And it was, I think at that point they had gone. We could have carried on another half an hour and I felt we would have won the game. We had the legs in that game. So it showed another gear. I was proud that night because going into it, I thought it would be a difficult night for the boys, but again, a proud night. And I think afterwards we spoke about how proud we were as the boys to come here and go, okay, well, we can hold it on a Tuesday night away at Maidenhead. Weston Super Mare, team that I think were top of the league at the time. Unbeaten in how many, scoring loads of goals. And again, difficult game for us. They got experienced players coming here, top of the league. Said to the boys, I wanted a clean sheet. Our home form this season hasn't been great, and a clean sheet was important. I think we had chances. We had a lot of chances. I think we had controlled the game. We controlled the tempo. Out of possession, we controlled in possession. We was good. We was dominant. And we had a lot of chances on the day and a lot of crosses into the box. But if, like you said, if you'd have said to me before the game we'd get a point against the top of the league side, I would have took it. But I was disappointed to take a point and not all 3 points because I felt we had the better of the chances. I bought in Alfie Pavey. Obviously, we've had 3 or 4 games now, and I felt as a side we were lacking in both boxes, and we needed some physicality. Excellent in the middle third of the pitch, coached well to move and pass the ball. But we were lacking in both boxes, physicality in both boxes, and that's where the game's won. I was delighted to get Alfie in because I thought going into the Maidstone game we needed to have, because they're a big side, big strong side, I needed to have some physicality. So I was delighted to bring Alfie Pavey in, and I knew he would be starting in my starting lineup against Maidstone. Everyone was telling me how important it was and how much of a derby game it was and how we hadn't beaten them there for I think 11 to 16 years at Maidstone away and how difficult it was. So it added the pressure. I've been in derby games, I've played in derby games, some great derby games. So the pressure and the build-up, it was exciting. It was exciting to go to Maidstone and as Tonbridge and to think that we could get something from the game would be an achievement. And yeah, I was excited because I said to the boys, this is huge for myself, huge for the club. You can all be heroes. Let's go and put a performance in and do something that club hasn't done in how many years. Go and beat Maidstone at Maidstone. So believe in yourselves.
I'm going for Angels are going to win 3-1.
It's going to be a tough game. I think we'll lose 2-0 as much as it pains me to say.
3-1 Tonbridge Angels.
Eddie Simon pops up with a goal, and at that point then it was an unbelievable atmosphere. The crowd went crazy. They were brilliant, celebrated. I think the boys over-celebrated. They running down the sideline, but there was still a long way to go in the game, so you've got to try and keep the humble and see the game out. Still a lot of work to do. And we knew then we would have to defend for our lives. They made 3 or 4 subs, brought on some big lads, and were throwing bodies at it. Our boys looked like they'd just blown. We'd given it all, so we were hanging on. I think I brought German on to try and bring a bit of strength and power in there. And then one ball in the box, they score. And then I thought, if you'd asked me before the game, the draw, I'd have taken a draw. I thought, right, this has got 1-1 on it all day long now. I think Shieldsy then, we threw Shieldsy on. I thought, give us one last chance. Give us just one chance. You know, you sort of give me this one time.
Well, Sean, you've only been back 2 days and you've given us the moment of the season, if not the decade there. That was superb.
No, I really appreciate that. It's been a really tough 6 months, and a moment like that is just the perfect way to return for myself and for the club, and I'm over the moon right now.
And I see grown men crying, I see people so happy, and I've won some big things in my career and been part of like only 7 Wembleys and promotions, and the feeling of when you're the manager to win a derby game and to see everyone else crying around me and everyone else, it meant so much, and even the bench and the staff all running down the sideline. It was an immensely proud moment as a manager. And for the club, I was happy for Sophie and the board and everyone in there up there, because I felt like they deserved it as well. The fans, Shieldsy, staff, and it's a memory. And when I came to this football club, I said to you, look, one thing I can guarantee, I'll give you some good memories. I think that's one of the memories that will live on for us for a very long time.
Smith dummies one throw, and then loops one up towards the edge of the penalty area. Flicked into the area by Pavey, steered off the core bar, and what a